Winsor & Newton has several drying oils used to modify the flow of oil color, but three of the most popular ones I have here are refined linseed oil, linseed stand oil, and linseed drying oil. Now they're all going to increase the flow, they're all going to increase transparency and gloss of the color, but they have different drying rates and a different feel to them all. Refined linseed oil, it's called refined because it goes through a process to get rid of impurities in the oil. You don't want to use hardware grade linseed oil or anything like that. It's going to remain perpetually tacky. So if you can see, I pour a little bit of that out. Very, very fluid. And that's going to slow down drying a bit. Now, linseed stand oil. Basically what you do with linseed stand oil, or what's done in the process of making it, is it's heated to about 525 to 575 degrees for a few hours. And that makes it much thicker. So you can see here, if I dump some of this out, it's got much more of a syrupy consistency. See, it really, actually I should say honey. It's more of a honey-like consistency. Got a really nice feel to it. The linseed oil is quite pale. The stand oil, a little bit more yellow. Drying oils will yellow over time. It's one of the things that goes on with them. Now, I'm going to take a little color here, though. I've got some cerulean blue over here. I'm going to mix a little bit with the stand oil. Now, stand oil is really going to slow the drying rate quite a bit. And it makes it much thicker. I really liked it a lot when I was in grad school painting because it's very luscious. It's wonderful for glazes. The brush strokes sort of level out, so it's just really pretty. You can even see with a palette knife, if I skim that over the top, how smooth that looks. And then drying oil. It's going to be the fastest drying of the three vegetable oils. You can see that the consistency is very much like the first one, very much like the linseed oil, the refined linseed oil, but it's much, much more yellow. So you have these different drying rates. You also have how they yellow. Again, sort of across the range here, the linseed oil, refined linseed oil, slows down the drying rate. Linseed stand oil really slows down the drying rate, but it dries to a tough, elastic film. And then the drying oil is the yellowest of the three. So you would want to be careful with the drying oil. If you had something that yellow mixed with like a blue, you could start to get a greenish cast to it. So I'd want to avoid that with colors like blues. And also with all the drying oils, you want to be careful that you don't use too much. You want to always observe the fat over lean rule when painting. That is, you want successive layers of your paint as you build up the painting to become fatter. That is, have more oil in them. But you only want to use just enough to get the job done, to get it to flow the way you want it to. If you use too much oil, you can get what's called alligatoring. The oil will want to bind up together and give you sort of an alligator-like skin. It's not good for stability, and it certainly doesn't look good either. On the opposite end of that, you don't want to have so much solvent in your mix that you break the paint apart and you get cracking and you get a weak paint film there either. So remember that you can modify the oil color, modify how slow it dries, and really get some nice things out of your oil paint.